Hello everyone and welcome to a book talk for Apocalypse, Utah. This is a collection of short stories, so this is an anthology. Each short story is by a different author, and this is a collection of horror short stories. These are all apocalyptic stories, so basically the end of the world, and all of them take place in Utah. This collection of short stories that I read via ebook was 171 pages. The editors are Callie Stoker and Johnny Worthen. This is a standalone, and this was published in 2017. So what can I tell you? Really not much, just a collection of short horror stories, all apocalyptic, most zombies, all in Utah. There was no audiobook available for this when I read the book. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 short stories in this book. So I can tell you a little bit about each one, and with each one I'll go through and tell you what words and any content and trigger warning with individual story. So the first story is told in third person, and it is called The Fateful Hour, written by Jasmine Angel, I'm guessing is how it is said. And this one was 11 pages. This one we have the character of Sam, who does have a son. And in this one, basically the note that I have is that people die or bleed and they lose their senses. And so like, for example, if I were to get a bloody nose, I would lose my senses for whatever sense is associated, or I'm being punished for a certain murder. So I could bleed from my mouth and lose my sense of taste for telling a heinous lie. My eyes for being a voyeur, bleed from my eyes in that. So it's that type of a book, that type of a story, and I really enjoyed that. What is your trigger warning? Blood, definite blood, and loss of a loved one. So you do have grief in this one. Your other content warnings regarding the words, we have rape coming up once, pedophile once, godsend once, hell 4 times, and damn once. Moving on, story number 2 is Maverick by Parker is the last name, Leua. I know I said that wrong. I'm going to be slaughtering a lot of names. I'm sorry about that. This one was told in first person, and it was only 9 pages. There is a thirst, not like you're physically thirsty for water. Speaking of which, I need a drink. So, not that type of a thirst, but it's called thirst, and it dries you out from the inside out. Think of, the description in the book was, think of beef jerky or any kind of jerky, turkey jerky, whatever jerky. Think of jerky. So so that's pretty much what it is. And this one, the main character's name we don't really get in this. I do have a note saying there is no name for the character in this. But the main character is an 11-year-old girl. And I believe there was if this one is the one I'm thinking of, I didn't write it down, but I think there was an attempted, molestation scene, something like that. Anyway, the following words are in here. I don't have any other trigger warnings listed. So the following words in this particular story are bitch 5 times, nads reverting to male genitalia 1 time, hellfire once, damn twice, son of a bitch twice, dumbass once, shit twice, bullshit once, hell once, and asshole once. Story number 3 is The Day the Cats Went Missing by Amanda Lezeder, not quite sure, told in third person and was 14 pages. This one we're following a senior lady, or senior main female protagonist who owns a cat, and she ventures out of her house, not the cat, the lady, and is starting to see more and more flyers creep up about missing cats, and then there's an issue with her cat going missing, and she's going to follow the cats and find out what goes on. That's the story, and that's all I'm going to say. 14 pages of that, and her name is Arlene. She lives on retirement. The cat's name is Mr. Bartholomew, and he is a white cat. And the only other word that pops up in this that would be bothersome that I could find of any readers is the word God, and that is it. So, moving on. We have Meredith in St. Louis by Michael Darling. This one is told in third person. We are following Meredith, who is an NSA worker. This book was 11 pages, the story, told in third person. This one we have, my note says we have a boy that is on a train. He takes a girl, and the first time it talks about infatuation, other times hardly recognizing them. So taking people type of a situation. We have the word hell one time and the word Lord one time, and that one is done in a religious context. Story number 5 in this is this Distortion by Joe Schneider. This one is 9 pages. It is told in first person. This one we have what's called Ragers, and this one is a zombie story. The Ragers are zombies. You do figure that out quite early. And so it's people just trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. That's pretty much it. There's really not much I can tell you with each individual story, so I'm just trying to give you very, very, very extremely brief couple words with what each one is about. We have the word God with a lower g, lowercase g 3 times, hell twice, and the word suicide once. Story number 6 in Apocalypse, Utah is Time to Think by John M. Olson. This one we have this experiment that takes place, and basically there's this worldwide power outage. Like if you're in your home and it just all of a sudden goes pitch black, and it is very quick, but then it happens again, and the duration that everything is black is just a little bit longer. And then it happens again. So like, for example, let's say the power goes out for 5 seconds. An hour later, it goes out for 6 seconds. And then 59 minutes later, it goes out for 7 seconds. And then it just kind of keeps snowballing like that, where the space in between each blackout gets smaller and smaller, but the length of the blackouts gets longer and longer. So this one is definitely not a zombie apocalypse story, but it is still an apocalypse. This one we are following Dr. Jeremy Nagana, who is a scientist, and he has an assistant named Tony, and it was 14 pages, and that's really all I can tell you about that. There's really not much to say. Now, so far, the cities I will say for this book, Park City is mentioned in one of the stories, and I did not write which cities are mentioned in which stories, but Park City is mentioned, Salt Lake, I think Heber was one of them. So every city that's mentioned in this story are actually cities that I have been in Utah, and I have not been in all cities in Utah, but these are ones that I have been to. So moving on, number 7 is called Crustacea. I'm sure I said that wrong. This one was written by Matthew. I have no idea how to say last name. Cornichione. I don't know. I really don't know. I know I said that wrong. I'm sorry. 15 pages. This one was told in third person. We are following Rachel, who is a mother, and she has a son named Chad, and he is actually the preteen age. This one is kind of zombie-like, except they're called scuts in this, and that's pretty much all I can say. We have the word God 5 times. Mostly religious, damn twice, and damn it once. Not much to say on a lot of these, and I do apologize, just think apocalyptic. The Scavenger by Jess and Brittany Gulbranson was 5 pages, as you can see, really can't say a lot. This one we're following Sam Dupree, who is called a neutral. This one does have body horror and mentions of cannibalism. This one is talk of angels versus demons in an Armageddon. And so we have the word hell 3 times and hellish once. Story number 9, before when the Words Were There by Rachel Lewis. This one was 14 pages, and this one we have a map maker. And basically what's drawn on the map can dictate the surroundings and if there's any protection or if something bad can happen, like earthquakes and tsunamis and things like that. So the main character we're following is Wiz, is what he is called, also known as Gerald, and the word hell comes up one time. The 10th story is Prepped by Jared Kwan. This one was 14 pages and is told in third person. We're following Scott. And this one, we have earthquakes, tsunamis, we have toxic air, and zombies. So a lot of stuff hitting the fan and people just trying to survive. So like there's big earthquakes, which cause tsunamis, which cause things to explode, which causes toxic air, and makes people turn into zombies. So now let's see, story number 11 is The Fisherman by Karen Laringa. 11 pages, told in third person. This one we have a virus outbreak that is going around, and this virus turns people into not zombies, but ogres. This one we're following Zoe, who is 15 years old, and Topper, who is 17 years old and is Zoe's cousin. They go into a house to scavenge, and these ogres show up. And this one we have loss of a loved one. Cannibalism is talked about, and just trying to survive. The word damn comes up once, hell once, rape once, and God once. And then the last story that is in here is Flame Unspeakable, written by Johnny Worthen. This one was 19 pages. I think this one was the longest one out of all of them. And you have a rich versus a poor. And my writing really sucks right now. I can't read it. It's rich versus poor is something that is described and talked about. We have Tara, who is the main person, and there is a call. My note says a call to correct past errors by any means. And I think as much as I enjoyed that one, I don't think that one was, I think that one was one of my more least favorites out of this whole collection. I mean, it was still fine. It was still good. I still enjoyed it, but there were other ones that I really enjoyed more, like the one with the ogres. We have the word suicide twice. God 5 times with a lowercase g. Hell 4 times. Hellscape once. God 3 times with a capital G, and then the word Satan 1 time. So those are the short stories. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. Just think apocalyptic. Some of them are zombies, like 2 or 3 out of the whole book I know for sure are zombies. 1 ogre due to virus, 1 natural disasters, but they are all apocalyptic situations where it's like the end of the world. But this is all from the point of view of people who live and reside in Utah. So let me know, have you read Apocalypse Utah? Is this something that you might be interested in picking up? I do recommend. It was fun. It was a fun time, especially to hear the names of the cities that I did recognize, like Park City and Salt Lake. So that part was really entertaining and fun, in addition to the stories that were entertaining. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, if this is something you want to pick up or not, and talk to me in the comment section below. If you want to leave me, I would like to read more horror short stories. Sometimes they're hit or miss. This particular collection of horror short stories for me was a hit. I would like to pick up more. So if you have a book or are aware of a book that is a collection of short horror stories that you enjoy, leave it in the comments below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.